Hey man, say man, y'all already know what it is. The big boss, K-Po, talk boxing, fucking my soliloquy. Man, tough times don't last. Good people do, don't off yourself. Call them in the 5 line, maybe matter. Peak game, 84s on what's wearing. All right, now. We clutched up, we clutched out. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about that boxing. Before we get the main entree, the main dish, gonna introduce our second host, feature Hall of Famer, legend. Salute to all our soldiers, brother on the hustle, aka Coach B. Let them know how you feeling, man.
Hey, what it is, folks? Y'all know what time it is. K-Po done already said, but I'm gonna say it again like I do every time. We clutched up, we clutched out. Y'all know we're here to talk about. Hey, remember, before we get into all that talking boxing and whatnot, remember, y'all know what I'm finna tell y'all. Hey, if God wake you up, he put extra breath in your body. Excuse me, if God wake you up and he put breath in your body, everything else is extra. Get up, take care of you, do you, take care of the fam. Also remember, we are better off with you here than without you. Make sure if you're in any trouble, you feel like you want to offer yourself, call that mental health hotline. Go ahead, do what you're supposed to do. Like I said before, we are better off with you here than without you. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to K-Po. Let's let them know how we flow and let's continue the show.
Already. So, man, we getting into the main thing. Man, Gervonta Tank Davis. Next fight has been announced. And he fighting Jake Paul on Friday in November. Boy, that was nothing I wanted to hear. He sold his soul. That's all we can say. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Coach, how do you feel about this fight announcement? I'm speechless. How do you feel about this fight announcement? How do you feel about the fight in general? And is this bad for boxing? Let me know something.
Straight up and down, no side effects. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible for boxing. It's terrible for the few fans that Tank had left because he basically he hung us out to dry. He basically just put it all in a nutshell, cut straight through the chase and said he don't care what we think no more. He don't care what we feel no more. He don't care what we want no more. And I get it. The weight of the world was already on his shoulders. And not only that, after the draw with Lamont Roach, he just added more fuel to the fire. His situation outside of the ropes, outside of the ring, outside of the gym, added extra fuel to the fire. He was already saying he wanted to retire. He was tired of the fight game. He was tired of how people, treat, elite fighters that's up there doing the best they can do to show the fans that it's still real dogs out here. But with all that being said, about all that, man, like Tank basically said, I ain't worried about it no more. I ain't trying to please the world no more. I ain't trying to please my fans no more. And he hung us out to dry. And in all actuality, man, I don't like the fight. I don't think Jake Paul should even be allowed to be able to create matches with an actual relevant fighter. If you retire, you've been retired for a while, okay, do your thing. Pay whoever you want to pay. Y'all can have all the exhibition matches y'all want with Jake Paul. But if it's somebody like Tank who still has a belt, who's still active in professional boxing, I don't think Jake Paul should be able to cross that line and be able to create any deals with those fighters, because now he's slowly making his way into infiltrating the actual boxing world. Like he had his own little promotion company. He was getting his rocks off with other fighters, that's been retired or been away from the sport of UFC for a while. And I didn't like that then, because I feel like every time you go into a contract with Jake Paul, there's some underlying issues in there, and it all feeds into him winning the fight regardless. But at the same time, I don't like it. Tank should have been focused on Lamont Roach and or Shakur Stevenson, because I feel like he still got something left to prove. His resume not up to par, in my opinion. Yes, it's solid. It's solid. It has some decency behind it, but at the same time, it's not where I think it needs to be for him to walk into the Hall of Fame. And with that being said, this Jake Paul fight, I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and say he ducking Lamont Roach. I thought I would never associate that in this day and age with a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, but at this point in time, like I say, hey man, you leave me no other choice. I can't defend you anymore, bro. Yeah, I get it. You say effortless. You want the bag and you up out of here, but it's other ways to get to the bag. You are the bag, honestly. I'm not saying you the face of boxing, but you are the cash cow of boxing in your weight division. And it is what it is. Like I don't understand this Jake Paul situation. It gives me a headache. It baffles me. It pisses me off, and it makes me feel some type of way. I mean, like I say, you got other business to take care of. If you would have fought Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, X'd him out off your hit list, you get the dubs. You know what I'm saying? You can go out and right off into the sunset and fight whoever you want. You can fight Big Show, Undertaker. You can fight Jake Paul. You can fight his brother, whoever you want to fight after that. But at the same time, you got too many questions left unanswered, brother. Tank, oh man, it just gives me a headache, K-Paul. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. It's crazy to even be sitting here listening to people saying Jake Paul has the opportunity to fight Tank. That don't even make sense. What weight are y'all gonna fight at? Because if I'm not mistaken, Jake 200 plus. Tank, you telling people you didn't feel comfortable at 140. What you gonna fight him at 130, 135? And being there and not even to be effective? Come on, man. In the real sport of boxing, there's weight class for a reason. I don't like it. It's terrible for boxing. It's terrible for Tank. Jake Paul shouldn't be able to infiltrate or touch a fighter that has an actual relevant belt in the sport of boxing. He shouldn't be able to even really get a real sanctioned fight, because in my opinion, I believe the dude is taking steroids, and I ain't gonna touch that subject. But it is what it is. They go ahead and do what y'all gotta do. But don't nobody come back here asking me about, did you watch the fight? No, I didn't watch the fight. I don't care if Tank is or not. I'm not watching the fight. Period. They will not earn any type of cents off of my Netflix account or whatever they put it on. I'm not watching that fight. So for me to touch bases on that, I don't. I'm not getting involved in that. That's foolishness. But with that being said, K-Po, you go ahead. You got it.
Oh man, I'm lost. For starters, I second everything that Coach B said. Man, this is an embarrassment to the sport of boxing. Okay, you just fought to a draw to Lamont Roach earlier this year. That should have been first on the menu. Okay, Tank is getting ridiculed now because of the fact this is the time for you to solidify your legacy. This is the time where you go fight Teofimo. You go fight, I say Shakur. Although I feel like Shakur ain't did nothing to earn the fight, but he's the only one at his weight class that kind of got a buzz a little bit besides Abdullah Mason. But Abdullah Mason is coming into the sport. So, as far as names, this is the time where Tank, being the face of boxing, I'm talking about financial wise, not fighting wise. This was the time where you solidify everything. This is the time where you come back and you rematch Lamont Roach, right? Yes, Floyd Mayweather. People got many things they could say about him. Right, but one thing that man gonna do is he gonna rematch anybody he in a close fight with. When he was in a close fight with Marcus Maidana, and they say Marcus Maidana beat him, what did that man do? He rematched him, and he beat him worse. Right, that's what you do. Right, when he fought Castillo, and they said, "Hey, you lost to Castillo," what did he do? He rematched him. Right, that's what you do. Andre Ward, when Andre Ward fought Kovalev, first fight. He won the fight. They say, "Oh man, it's a fluke, you lost." He came back and stopped Sergey Kovalev. That's what you do. You don't sit there and be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go fight Jake Paul. That's a good idea." No, this was a bad idea. Whoever is in Tank's corner, and I'm talking about his entourage, right? Whoever's in his corner should have told him, "We can't do this. Morally, we can't do this." I understand the money, right? I understand the dollar. You're going to make more money fighting Jake Paul. I get it. I understand it. But this is about keeping the integrity in boxing, right? As a man, this is about keeping integrity, right? You are the face of boxing. You need to uphold the integrity in boxing. You are the person that's supposed to right the ship. right? We already got another bull crap fight at Canelo and Terence Crawford, a fight nobody asked for, right? And now you're gonna continue that trend and go fight Jake Paul, who's my weight right now, right? We're just gonna be real. He weighs what I weigh. Okay, I'm just muscular. He weigh what I weigh. That dude, a big dude, bro. He's like 6'2", like 200 pounds. Now I'm not 200 pounds. I'm 192. But when he fight, he be in the 190s. So it's like at the end of the day, Tank fight at 135. You gonna gain weight? You gonna go up to 160? I'm trying to figure that out. Because if you fight Jake Paul and you 160 pounds, I don't know how sharp you're gonna be. Like, there's a big weight difference, big weight disparity there. I get it if, and I don't like this fight either, but I get it if Canelo fought Jake Paul. But Canelo's closer. He could justify that. If Caleb Plant fought Jake Paul, if Usyk fought Jake Paul, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But Gervonta Davis? This doesn't make sense. And I told y'all, I don't support foolishness. So I would not be watching this fight. I would not be doing nothing to promote this fight. I'm going to do everything in my power to talk against this fight. I'm telling y'all. That's just what it is. Because we in the sport of boxing have to have integrity, right? We don't sack chase no fighters. That's just what it is. Me and Coach been telling y'all this. When a fighter needs to get cooked, that's what's going to happen. He going to get cooked. When a fighter needs to get credit, he going to get credit. We going to give fighters that credit when they need to. We going to cook them when they need to. And this is a cooking for Gervonta Tank Davis. Mm-hmm. You cannot sit here and continue to do stuff like this, right? You already got people who was ridiculing you as it is, saying, oh, man, he got fixed fights. He fight flat-footed fighters. He can't do this. Not knowing Tank is a great fighter, very talented fighter. I feel like he has a full arsenal as a boxer. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? He got power, but he can box. He can brawl. He can counterpunch. He can do it all. We've seen him do it in fights, right? Whereas when you got fighters like Shakur who only do one thing good, Shakur just can box. It's nothing wrong with that. But all I'm saying at the end of the day, I've seen many versions of Tank Paul's in that ring. Mm-hmm. This was a letdown right here. I'm not gonna lie to you. As a fan of the sport, this was a letdown because he was somebody I looked at and was like, man, he gonna have integrity. This is why people respected fighters like Errol Spence. He did what he said. He had integrity. He did exactly what he said he was gonna do as a fighter. I'm gonna collect these belts one by one, and I'm gonna go fight Terence Crawford. That's what he did. He had every reason after that accident to be like, you know what? I can't make 147 no more. Right? But no, the man stayed the course, stayed at the weight class, and continued to fight. Tough fights. Not hand-me-down fights, tough fights. He still want to fight tough fights. Well, I'm looking like, man, I don't know. You talking about you want to fight Sebastian Fundora? Yeah, I want to come back, fight Sebastian Fundora. Stop that cab. No, sir. You need a tune-up. You don't need to come, but he don't care. Because he believe in himself that much. And I think, and next question I got for you, Coach, do you feel like Gervonta Tank Davis fought Jake Paul because he don't want to think in that ring? Do you feel like the reason why he didn't come back and fight Lamont Roach is because he would have to come back and really have to think and process to beat a skillful fighter like Lamont Roach? Or do you feel like he just wanted that money? Let me know something.
I'll be honest. I have mixed emotions about that question, but I'll be honest. I've seen majority of Tank fights, and sometimes when his problem-solving skills ain't clicking, you can see a look of, how can I explain it? I don't want to say worry on his face, but you see a look of like, oh man, what do I got to do at this point? And that's when you start seeing the facial expressions. That's when you start seeing the some of the small dirty antics he might pull out. He might just grab, or he might just like put his chin on somebody's shoulder and kind of like dig in a little bit. You'll see, Tank going to like, okay, let me slow him down in a different way. Let me try some different tactics. So he'll smile, he'll start talking, he'll start looking away, acting like this fight ain't interesting. I can still do what I want. So I've seen Tank go into this mode before. And in that Lamont Roach fight, I seen where his problem solving skills had kind of started to wither away in that fight. And he just wasn't taking advantage of the moment, because there was a couple times where I think and I thought I saw, him actually, have Lamont Roach hurt to the body, and he didn't capitalize. He just kind of sat back and looked, because Lamont Roach, most of that fight had been taking, most of what Tank was throwing at him. Pause, no freak is in full effect after that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're a top-notch fighter, like I say, you're going to meet somebody that's going to make you look human, make you feel human when you're in the ring. But at the same time, in no way, shape, or form, or any fashion, is it a time for you to run or not want to capitalize or not want to rise above the moment. And right now, I think Tank, with all, like I said, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, I think he don't want to rise above the occasion. I think he just want to get the bag, ride off into the sunset, and whatever it is, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big money grab for him. It's a big money grab for sure for both of them. Honestly, it's a big money grab. But at the same time, I don't think he wants to deal, like you say. I don't think he wants to deal with having to crack the code or come up with a new resolution on how to beat a Lamont Roach. Which I didn't see him having to come up with a new fight plan. I just see him having to capitalize in the moments that he had in those fights to actually take advantage and take control, because he had multiple chances. Because there were some parts of the fight with Lamont Roach where Lamont Roach really wasn't throwing. And I know Tank isn't, a high output guy, but sometimes you got to be water. You got to take shape. You got to take form. You got to take heed to what's going on. Okay, he's not throwing right now. It's round 3. He's still not really letting his hands go. Let me let off a couple combinations and steal this round. Round 4, he's still kind of hesitant. He in this counter punching mode. Okay, well, you can be in your counter punching mode. I got enough skill set to make you miss and make you pay. So I'm going that same mode, but at the same time, I'm gonna up my volume a little bit. So yeah, I do think it's a part of not wanting to crack the code on how to beat a Lamont Roach or even be in the ring with him again, because I watched the fight. It was the toughest fight Tank had today. It was, honestly, it was. But at the same time, people talking about Lamont Roach won. No, they fought to a draw, because Tank was still Tank in that fight. When I say that, I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate. Tank still did what he did. He downloaded data rounds 1 through 4. Rounds 5 through 6, 7. He was in there. He started to, feint. He started to throw a little bit more power punches. He started to, come alive. It just so happened that Lamont Roach also was in there, and he came alive around the same time, and they was flipping rounds back and forth, in my opinion, on how I scored it. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it still turned out to be a draw. But yes, to answer your question directly again, I don't think he wants to deal with having to go in there and think about having to reiterate the fight plan. But you don't have to reiterate it. You just have to capitalize on the same moments that you had in the last fight. But at the same time, it's a money grab. Trust me, if the money, the type of money that's on the line in this fight wouldn't be involved, I don't think Tank would be in this fight. Do I still think he'd be in the ring with Lamont Roach? I don't know at this point. I don't even want to not pass judgment, but I don't even want to call the shots towards the Tank no more, because honestly, I feel like if it wasn't the Jake Paul fight, I don't think Tank would even came back to fight Lamont Roach, period. At this point, the way I see it. Because if you're going to come back and fight, why waste time? Why waste energy? Why waste age? Why waste, like I said, why waste energy on a Jake Paul when you have unanswered questions that need to be answered in the eyes of your haters, your doubters, and the people that believe in you? You got to answer those questions. And right now, go and fight Jake Paul, don't answer none of those questions. And then to piggyback off of what you said not too long ago, if you do go up to a 150, other questions will arise. Oh, okay, why didn't you fight Devin at 140? Why didn't you fight XYZ at 140? Why didn't you go back? Like, if you can get up to 150 and you want to fight a Jake Paul, bro, come on now. You told the world not too long ago that you didn't feel comfortable fighting past 135. You felt sick. Your body didn't feel right. You felt off in the fight. So you said you was gonna stay down at 135, and I can respect that because most fighters don't know where they want to go as a fighter. They go up, they go down, they stay where they at too long, and they just be fluctuating, and then they cut their career short because they got too much moving up and down. You chose to stay at 135, and you told us out of your own mouth that you didn't feel good at 140, so you went back down to where you felt good, and that but now you fighting Jake Paul, who, like Capo say, could be 200, well, could be 190 plus, almost sitting at 200. What you can't fight him at no 135, bro. You just can't. You can outpoint him all night, but at the same time, I really, honestly, I don't care what you're gonna do in this fight. I don't. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's not. It's not necessary. It's terrible. It's disgusting. Y'all killing the sport of boxing with this stuff, man. It frustrates me. Like, and I got too much respect for Tank the fighter. You know what I'm saying, in the ring, for you to go out and say you're gonna fight Jake Paul, but at the same time, no, he don't want to deal with figuring out cracking the code on how to beat a Lamont Roach. Like I said earlier, I think it's a it's a money grab, but at the same time, it's a duck, in my opinion. You ducking Lamont Roach. You ducking the real smoke. And it is what it is.
And I not only blame Tank, I blame all y'all young fighters. All of y'all. Because y'all talk too much. You talk, and then nobody fight. Shakur Stevenson, he over there shaking hands with Conor Ben. Crikey. Yeah, we're going to fight at 147. Bet. They shake hands. Well, who is Conor Ben fighting, if you don't mind me asking? Chris Eubank. What are we doing? Shakur. Now, oh, man, Lamont Roach. Which we going to talk about this in a minute. But Shakur, Lamont Roach. Oh, yeah, we going to fight, man. Me and Tia Female don't fight. What? All this talking, but no fights get made. None of these fights are getting made. And they doing it in the open. The old school dudes didn't do this. They didn't talk about who they gonna fight openly. That's why I miss the old days. Mm-hmm. Floyd Mayweather announced on Twitter, hey, September, whatever, I'm fighting Canelo. That's it. The fight was already done. The venue, he said, I'm fighting Canelo at the venue, done and everything, signed, sealed, delivered, we done. You didn't hear about fights until it was done. Mm-hmm. You got dudes. Now, Tank, one thing I give him credit for is this. He didn't hear about the Jake Paul fight after the Lamont Roach fight. We started hearing rumblings about it, right? But everything was quiet. Jake Paul wasn't talking about it. We were talking about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, he announced, oh, I'm fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. So, like I said before, all these young fighters, boxing is not in a good state because these young fighters talk too much. Everybody want to look like the head honcho instead of showing they're the head honcho. And I told y'all, me and Coach B gonna stay on y'all head like a fitted cap. That's what it is. We reached the end of the podcast, man. Y'all continue to support us on this journey, man. This is the beginning. This is Genesis. We're going to continue to grow. As y'all seeing, we're growing, man. We're up to 300 subscribers, and we want to continue to grow. But we need y'all to continue to share, like, comment, and hate. You know what I mean? What's a channel or what's any entity without haters, man? But continue to be there for us. We're going to continue to be there for y'all. We're going to continue to try to put out the best content, and we're going to continue to uphold boxing in the right manner, and that's what it is. I'm Boss. That's Coach. We clutched up. We clutched out. We out of here.